pulled into Changsha this morning and took a few hours off to clean up and shower basically and rest a little. And then this afternoon we headed out. The objective was to go to the outskirts of Changsha and see some farms.
When you're traveling, sometimes I hit a wall. You know, it's where you're in a foreign place, seeing foreign things, and you're absorbing as much as you can like a sponge. And you hit a saturation point where you're just at capacity. And for me, that was this morning. And then we broke into this farmland, rolling hills and green trees, and suddenly everything changed.
Our first stop was this area that had been turned into nurseries, plant nurseries, and we stopped and talked to this man who owned a few acres of land there, and he just warmed your heart. He was such a nice guy. He was so enthusiastic when he spoke. He was showing us around, and the plants that he sold, mainly he was selling trees, big trees and some really old bonsai trees that would go into upscale, I think, landscaping or into office buildings. I mean, these were not little things that you'd buy at the local flower store. And they were beautiful pieces of art, basically, sculpted trees.
This is the welcome tree because the branches come out like arms. And he has this particular one in front of their living room, so it's like welcoming a guest into their house, which is lovely. And it's a really cool looking tree too.
We asked him if he was an artist, and he said, no, I'm not an artist. I'm a businessman. You know, I grow these trees to sell, and he's doing very well. He was a mortician or somehow involved in the funeral business, and when he had the opportunity to get out there and do what he really wanted to do, which was farm, he grabbed it, and now, 20 years later, he has a booming business in the middle of Changsha. And you can tell he loves what he does. We asked him if he was looking forward to taking a vacation, and he said no. No, he's 65, which is a retirement age, but he's planning on continuing as long as he can. Following that, we went to a family farm where they grow organic vegetables and had the opportunity to walk down in the fields and pick vegetables, which actually ended up on our table later in the day.
It was kind of like city kids on the farm. Nick and I got to pick some melon, and the vines are grown up on a trellis about head height, so the melons end up hanging down from the vines, so they're pretty easy to scout to find the really big ones. The farmer showed us where to cut so we didn't injure the vine, and it was just really fun to be there, you know, walking around in the dirt.
I feel like I'm holding like a day's catch of fish.
It's a wild melonfish. Wild Chinese melonfish. They're rare. Okay, Iron Chef, how are we gonna cook it?
Well, I was just advised by someone here at the farm to peel it, and then there are two ways to do it. One, you can cut it into thin slices, almost like a French fry slice, and it goes well with garlic. Or you can peel it and slice it across, and that also goes well with garlic.
Everything goes well with garlic.
So we'll have to find a garlic
And we're going to
farm.
put a soy sauce in it.
Oh, that's right. That's with the French fry shaped ones.
Yeah.
What I liked the most actually was picking these greens, and I don't know exactly what they are. When they were cooked up tonight, they tasted a lot like bok choy, similar looking. We got to just pull them out. You pull them out by the roots and all, and it was just fun to kind of be hunkered down there, pulling them out, knowing that we were going to eat them later on.
New career.
Something like 80% of China is still living in rural areas, and so while we've been in the cities so far, it was really important to me, I think, to feel like I had a sense of what China's like, to be able to go out and see a farming community like that and actually talk to some people.
Ready to go to market?
Are you gonna sell it?
We're not selling it, we're eating it. We're eating it. We left right as the sun was setting, drove back through the sort of the downtown area for the farming community, and headed back into town and drove through town, came to the banks of this really wide river that runs right through the city, and came out onto a floating boat restaurant with our box of vegetables.
And we got the opportunity to wash the vegetables we had just picked, and they're organic, which is good in itself, but then actually working with them, actually completing that circle from earth to table, really brought everything home.
The chef just whipped the stuff up with a lot of garlic. And it was good, and it had only been off the vine or out of the soil for about an hour and a half, and it was fresh and tasty and just, I don't know, a great completion to the day. It really gave us a really, really good taste of rural China.
I felt very in touch, and you know, the Volkswagen dealerships are encroaching, and the flush and monolithic government buildings aren't that far away from these family farms, and they're coming. You know, the industry is coming, it's expanding outward, and fast. I mean, the growth here is unbelievable. Everything's happening so fast. It's absorbing all the land, and people are having to move off their land. But today, none of that mattered, because like the place we were in was just really in touch. Like 20 years, these farms might not be there. It might be totally developed into, you know, massive suburbia or huge towering apartment complexes. But for today, it was just where I needed to be. You know, actually today flowed perfectly. And finally getting out to that farm was just a utopia. You know, for the moment it was a haven, kind of a nirvana of sorts. I mean, the Shaolin is great, the Forbidden City is great, the Great Wall is very great. But being on a farm with a man who's doing what he loves.
I want to be in his position at some point.
You can't rush the growth of a tree. And the art of bonsai is it's a spiritual art. You know, you look at the tree and you kind of see a shape within it, and then work over hours and days and weeks and months to bring out that shape and bring the tree to the potential that you see within it. I mean, it's a very harmonious commune, and harmonious commune was just what I needed, and it's just what we got.